Hello and welcome back to the board. I'm the Gavin Major, and this is my no pay to win picks for tier 6 season 24 of ranked, of 1v1 ranked I should say. So the no pay to win challenge is basically playing tech tree ships with tech tree commanders and tech tree commander inspirations, basically all the standard stuff that's in the game, so nothing that would cost you doubloons or it would be locked behind early access or anything like that. So we'll start off with looking through the battleships, then we do the cruisers and the destroyers, and everything will be carded or chapters down below so you can skip to the section of interest. So crack on with the battleships. So starting off with the battleships, my first pick would be the Gneisenhower. The reason being is with 1v1 ranked, a lot of the engagements are at close range, which is probably going to be quite advantageous for the Gneisenhower. She has 15-inch guns, she has lots of secondaries, and she has torpedoes. Having torpedoes is going to be quite strong at this tier. It means that anything, pretty much anything and everything, is not going to want to get too close to you because you can torpedo them back. Also, you've got the secondaries, which are going to be backing you up. The downside of the Gneisenhower, firstly, I guess she has 15-inch guns, which is good, but the downside is that they kind of have pretty poor dispersion at times. However, with the engagement being quite close, hopefully you should be getting more hits on target. Now, the interesting thing with tier 6 battleships is when it comes to the armor scheme of all of them, pretty much all of them only have a bow, which is capable of resisting 14-inch AP. So pretty much any battleship at tier 6 which has 15-inch guns or higher is capable of overmatching the bows of the enemy battleships at the tier. Now the Gneisenhower has a nice little advantage though. She does have an icebreaker. She's got that 70mm plating on the bottom, so that is going to be quite advantageous when it comes to engaging enemy battleships with 15 and 16-inch guns as well. She's also got a very good armoured deck, very good armoured belt, and the Citadel is of course that classic German kind of turtle backed and hidden below the waterline, so not really going to be taking much damage there. So I think the Gneisenhower is going to be quite advantageous because she's going to be very good at getting close, I guess you could say. Now, the other pick I've gone for is the North Carolina. The reason why I've picked North Carolina is, first of all, she's a tech tree ship with 16-inch guns, so she can really hurt a lot of enemy battleships, all enemy cruisers, so she's got a lot of capability, I'd say, with those 16-inch guns, and she's going to be more accurate than a Gneisenhower, I guess you could say. Furthermore, with those 16-inch guns, she has a rather advantageous armor scheme. Yes, she does have an exposed nose, which will be overmatched by 15-inch AP and more, but her main belt and her deck is also quite resistant to 16-inch guns, so if you stay angled against those 16-inch gun battleships, you should be alright. Furthermore, when it comes to the Citadel, it is mostly below the waterline, again quite advantageous in comparison to some of the other ships at the tier. Honourable mentions for battleships, I'd probably say the Snob, but with the Snob she does have an elevated Citadel, so you have to be very careful of drive-bys. So looking at the cruisers, I'm going to start off with the Tallinn. I think the Tallinn is quite a strong pick because she's got a very strong hull, is the best way to put it. She's got a very well armoured hull, capable of ricocheting 14-inch AP when angled against her bow, her main armoured belt, and her stern. She's also got a bit of an icebreaker at the front, and she's also got an armoured deck which is capable of ricocheting 15-inch AP. The only real downsides, I guess, with the Tallinn is that her main battery might be a bit slow firing, the torpedoes might be a little bit on the short side, I guess you could say. But one of the advantages is she does have a slightly below the waterline or at the waterline turtleback Citadel, I should say, and those torpedoes are going to be quite fast travelling. She's also got sonar and she's also got radar. So if you want to see what's going on behind the island, that radar is going to be quite helpful in working out where the enemy is. With cruisers at this tier, pretty much this is the best you're going to get when it comes to an armor scheme for a tech tree cruiser. You can get better with a premium, but of course that's pay to win. With most cruisers, usually the main armoured belt is capable of ricocheting 14-inch AP if you've got a good one. The bow and stern are usually capable of ricocheting 8-inch AP, and that's basically where you end up. Now, also the lighter cruisers generally are plated in thinner armour all over, capable of ricocheting 8-inch AP, and some of the very light cruisers only have very thin armour at the front, which is not really capable of ricocheting anything. So the Talent, I'd say, is a strong pick, but she's not going to offer you a lot of DPM, so maybe you might want to consider a reload build. I think the next good option might be the York. The reason being is obviously she has a very large armoured belt, capable of ricocheting 14-inch AP, bow and stern, capable of ricocheting 8-inch AP. She's also got 2 triple torpedo launchers either side. She's got German sonar, catapult fighter, and she's quite capable with her armour piercing and high explosive shells. So although the number of guns is probably not that amazing, she can actually dish it out quite nicely is the best way to put it. So I think she could be an interesting pick. No wonder why the Vilma is OP when you think about it, because you basically got a York chassis, or York hull, but with more DPM and faster firing guns, but only 6-inch guns. So with the York being 8-inch guns, I think she's going to be quite an interesting choice. Definitely going to be keeping those destroyers at touch and distance, but also might have to keep herself at touch and distance from battleships. Now, for the third pick, I'm going to go for the Surrey. The reason being is I was quite impressed with how the Devonshire actually held out in the last season of Ranked when I was live streaming. So again, Surrey's got exactly the same armour scheme as the Devonshire. 8-inch AP ricochetable bow and stern, 14-inch AP ricochetable main armoured belt, and 15-inch AP can skip off the deck if you're very lucky. Again, anything with 15 or 16-inch guns, you're going to be wanting to keep some distance away. But the reason why I was kind of impressed with the British is because they have quite a good fire setting capability with their heavy cruisers. Furthermore, Surrey's also going to have sonar and a repair party along with a catapult aircraft for looking over those irons, and she does have torpedoes which do have forward kind of firing arcs, at least better than say the Japanese. That's probably one of the things that I kind of felt a bit let down with the Japanese, and the reason why I've gone for these three is they all have sonar. And by having sonar, it does mean that you can first of all look in smoke, but also you can have some self-protection against incoming torpedoes. So that's my 3 picks for cruisers. So as destroyers, I guess the first one is probably going to be no surprise to most. Going for the Minsk. The reason being, she has the joint highest HE DPM for the tier. She has the second hardest hitting torpedoes and an average, or slightly above average HP pool. She's got more than the Benson. So really, I kind of feel like you might as well go for the Minsk over the Benson. In all honesty, you got better torpedoes, more HP, and the same DPM really. So, and I don't think the Benson's going to really give you any kind of advantage over the Minsk, apart from maybe faster turning turrets. But if you're taking a commander build with Perceptive, then you should know where the enemy is and already have your guns trained on target. Is the best way to put it. For the next pick, I think this again won't come as a surprise. It's going to be the Vakrulin. Okay, so you've got the hardest hitting torpedoes at the tier. You've got 3 launchers, one on each wing and one in the centre line. Furthermore, you do have probably say like an average HE DPM, but you do have a main battery reload booster, which is really going to basically double that and put you way out in the lead. So if you can use that main battery reload booster effectively, it should be able to really knock the enemy for 6 with the Vakrulin. So I think those are probably going to be the 2 strongest picks for the tier. When it comes to honourable mentions, I guess you might as well say the Benson, simply because she has great DPM. But I think there's 2 other little ones as well. The Mass is quite an intriguing one. Again, the torpedoes are quite weak. The HE DPM isn't that amazing, but she does have quite a lot of HP, and she does have some unique, well, not unique, but acceptable consumables. She's got smoke, she's got sonar, so you might be able to use those in combo to try and fend off an enemy. Jervis is surprisingly intriguing. Okay, the HP isn't that amazing. The torpedoes you do have a lot of, but they're quite short range, but then again at 1v1 ranked engagement will be quite close. But the DPM of the Jervis is actually very good, and again actually it makes maybe the Gaugamada a good pick, but I think you probably want to take the Jervis over the Gaugamada, simply because the Jervis does have sonar, self-defense, which is quite nice, and also the Jervis does have torpedoes which can hit destroyers, and you're most likely going to be engaging a lot of destroyers. And of course, we might as well mention the Benson. Same DPM as the Minsk, but your torpedoes are weaker, and you've also got less HP. I mean, I'd say she's almost like a poor man's Minsk. But yeah, that would be my pick for destroyers. So that's my top picks for cruisers, battleships and destroyers for Season 24 1v1 ranked at Tier 6 for the No Pay to Win challenge. And you can also join me on Friday when I will be live streaming my gameplay of playing ranked, and I will be playing my top picks, and if they don't work out I'll probably change to my second pick, so you can actually see if the proof is in the pudding. Obviously all this is a matter of opinion and your opinions may differ, and that's completely acceptable. If you did enjoy this, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe. Until next time, I'm the Gaff Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping Major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down. I guess this is the life